Okay, we're back out at the wood pile. Welcome to Suburban Living. My name is Ed. I'm going to drag in a few of these pieces. It's a nice warm day today. A lot of these are wet from laying out here. I'm going to drag in some of these pieces into the garage and let them dry out a little bit. And then as they dry out, we're going to probably make a set of Sawhorses. Probably won't get to it today, but I want to bring this in today. Stay tuned. This is going to be the first step in building a set of Sawhorses. I've built Sawhorses before, never out of 1-inch rough cut lumber before, always out of 2-inch lumber, 1.5 planed lumber. My truck's setting out there. I measured the top of the tailgate is 33 inches, and so I would like to make these Sawhorses 33 inches. That way I can use my tailgate if I have to as an extra horse, so to speak, to hold up a piece of plywood or something else that I might be ripping. The question I wonder about is how wide do my legs of my Sawhorse really have to be? I'm wanting to make this as light as possible, but yet make it strong. And so I'm going to do some figuring here, maybe cut a few boards and try to get a few angles, and we'll get back with you when we got a few of those ripped down. Okay, what I want to do now, I want to figure out about the length of these. So I came out here to my truck and I angled this about the angle that I think a Sawhorse leg ought to be, and then I drew a line. And you see that line I drew across there? Now I have no idea what angle that is. Now all I'm doing right now, I'm just trying to figure out my angle. So I'll lay this down. I'm going to take my speed square here, and there are degrees along the bottom, so I'm going to put this speed square at its pivot point, and I'm going to line it up about with the angle. Then I come down here, come right here. You see it's about 11.5, 12. And so let's just make that 12 degrees. I'm going to make that 12 degrees. I'm going to set my miter saw at 12 degrees, and I'm going to cut all these legs at 12 degrees. That's how you find just a farm boy way of finding that angle. Now I come over here to my miter saw. This is an old miter saw, but it works. I set it on 12 degrees, and you can see, I'm going to try to make you see this, that blade is pretty close. Now, could I have just come over here to the miter saw and just eyeballed that and cut it? Yes, I could have done that, but I wanted to show you how to use a speed square, how to figure out the degrees with that speed square. I'm going to go ahead and cut these legs to length. And I need to remember, I need to make them about 1 inch shorter because I'm going to put a board across the top, and so I need to keep that in mind as I'm making these Sawhorses. Okay, I've got all these angles cut. Notice those 12 angles on the top, and then also on the bottom. That's pretty close. Now I need to come in here with the board across here, and I'll cut a triangle wedge of some kind over on this side. I'll make all of them the same. Got all my legs cut here. So 8 total. 4 both sets, just build them both at the same time. Alright. Next step, and what we're doing here, I'm going to put a board across this bottom. Already got this cut. These were the ends. Right here they are. When I cut these legs, I could only get 2 out of 1 length, and I had these chunks left over. And I want you to see on the end, they're already cut. What degree? Well, 12 degree. And so when I put these in here, what degree do you suppose that has to be? 12. Just to recap, remember when we got our original degree? 12, 12, 12. Everything so far has been cut at 12 degree. I haven't moved my miter saw. I've cut everything on 12 degrees. Got all of these centerpiece is cut. Now what I have to do is come up with a piece for this top, and then I'm going to put all these sections together by themselves. Alright, just stay tuned. Okay, the next thing I did, I went out to the wood pile. After going ahead and screwing these in, I just put a couple of screws each. This is poplar I'm using. You see the green cast of that wood. Poplar's a great wood to work with, and just really, really good. I went out there, and you remember I had that sheet of treated plywood, 3/4. Now I want this grain. See how the grain, the plywood runs up and down in that? That's the way I want the grain to be in this. A lot of people don't realize that plywood has grain just because it's a 4x8 sheet. And I'm using it here, and I'm making these corner blocks. Now that goes a little down on this end, and it's not perfect, but mind you, we're just making a set of sawhorses. We're not making something perfect here. And so I'm going to put these 4 on. Okay, the next step that I want to make in these sawhorses, I took a board that was about 5.5, 6 inches wide. I ripped it in half to about 2 3/4, and I'm going to use this board, and I'm going to put it right in here as I connect our legs together. I already did one over here. I want to show you what that looks like presently. If I would have thought ahead, I could have made this space wide enough for it to come up through. I did not. No major deal really. I screwed these 2 together, and that way we have the legs at this point setting together. Now we're going to have to strengthen this up a good bit, put a board across the top. Stay tuned. Okay, next step, I've cut a couple boards for the top. I cut these about 4 inches wide, and I want to cut them a little long, just also made out of poplar. Nothing fancy here. I'm going to let these overhang on the end a little bit. Let me screw those down and I'll get back to you. Okay, the top board is on. Top board is screwed down. And these could be used at this point as sawhorses, undoubtedly. They'll hold my weight, kind of balanced on one of them a little bit, but they could be a little bit rickety when it comes to this direction, side by side. And so what I've decided to do is to take this plywood and put this on the sides. Something like that. Doesn't matter if it sticks out a little bit on either side. Something here to bolt or screw braces to. I'm going to use screw braces to make these more sturdy and make these braced up just a little bit better. Stay tuned. Okay, our next step, after having placed these pieces of plywood on the ends, is this this brace. I went ahead and put one in. These are 45-degree angles. Go here and then up through to here. Now it doesn't screw through the top. I put 2 screws through here and a couple screws here. That's going to solid that up a good bit. I put one on this side. So I'm going to go around to the other side. And I'm going to take this one up to the top board, and then also down here to this board. I'm going to screw this one in on this side. Stay tuned. Okay, here are the completed sawhorses. They're not really that pretty, not really supposed to be. Sawhorses really are not a difficult thing to build, something absolutely necessary to the carpenter, anybody that's building anything. Not really that hard to build. These were made from scrap lumber in my old wood pile. Almost all poplar. Every piece of this is poplar except for these sections of treated plywood. Now you might ask, why didn't you use poplar for those? I could have, but I was afraid of it splitting out. I was more confident that those chunks of plywood would hold up. I went ahead and put screws down through the top here into these braces just to make them that much stronger. They will hold a lot of weight, and now they have the side braces where they'll hold that way also as well. I hope you found this useful. I hope you liked the video. I hope you subscribe if you haven't done so. Give me some comments down below on some other things that I might make from the boards I have left in our old lumber pile. Have a wonderful day.